Hello guys and welcome back to another Python video. In this video we're going to be covering some basic math that we need to know before going on to writing some more advanced programs. So math in Python is not that complicated. So let me just first create a comment so that I can write you a list of every single mathematical operator. So operators that Python can do are the four basic operators for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. In addition to two more operators. The first one is to asterisk, which means exponential. So for example, if you have let's say 2, and then we're gonna put these asterisks and let's say 2. So that means that it will print out 4 because 2 squared is just 4. Another operator that Python can make is the modulus operator, which gets the remainder of a division equation. So, for example, if we kind of have maybe 7 divided by, let's say, 8. Or let's say 7 divided by 6. Let's print it out. Yeah, and if you run it, let me just comment out this part. And if you run it again now, it's gonna print out the answer. But now if we put this side, I print out the remainder, which is 1. So 7 divided by 6, the remainder is 1. So these are kind of the operations to get started with Python. So we can make it the modulus, and we can even let's try it out the exponential one. So let's just write maybe 4, and let's cube it. For the program, you see, you get 4 cubed, which is 64. Let's try another example. Let's say 9 squared. Run it. It prints out the answer of 9 squared. Now, for the division operator, it's pretty simple and straightforward. So it's just dividing two numbers together. If there's a remainder, it just turns it it just kind of types with a decimal point. If it's kind of if it's kind of wrong, or something like that over here. So it can actually type decimal points. Another thing is multiplication, which is pretty straightforward. It's just multiplying two numbers by each other, and it works. Now, addition and subtraction are also pretty straightforward, easy, and doesn't need that much explanation. So simply just add or subtract the number. As you can see, Python can also go to negative, and if we kind of put -8 plus 9, Python will take this minus sign as the number after it is a negative. So for now, you see the result is 1. That's because Python actually knows if the number is negative or positive. So, now that we've now that we've actually knew some of the kind of math operations for Python and some of the user inputs, the variables and things, we can pretty much now start making a very simple calculator. So now I'm just going to show you how to make it. A calculator that does the operation you want. Like, you can just change with the code, but it does only one operation. So first, we're going to create a variable called num1, and it's going to be equal to the input of the user. And we're going to say enter a number. Like, and now we're going to create another variable called num2. And we're going to also set it to input of enter a second number. And now, after the user has entered the two numbers, here is where the thing becomes kind of optional. So if you're kind of working with addition, you do want to like call this variable sum. If you're working with subtraction, you do want to call it like maybe multiplication, we're gonna call it product. But for now, I'm just gonna call the variable answer. So we're gonna create a new variable, and then we're gonna say num1, and then we're gonna write any operator we want. So just for an example, I'm just gonna use addition, then num2, and then final thing is that we're gonna print out answer. And if you run the code, it asks you for a number, so let's just enter 9, enter 8, and you see, so something here I realized I forgot is converting the input into int, because it's really important if you're kind of working with calculators and kind of numbers. If you want to like assign a variable that has an input, then you would need to convert it to an integer. So now if you run the code, let's just enter 9, 8, and you see it works. It adds the two numbers. Now let's try some other operations, like say division. Let's see. So let's say we have 8 and 4. It works, as you can see. And in division, just to note that in division, Python always writes a decimal point with the answer. Even if it's kind of like a whole number, it still writes the answer with a decimal point, 0. So it's always a float when you do that. Next, let's try and print out, let's try maybe and change the operator to multiplication. Now subtraction, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it or not. So multiplication, let's enter 8 by 9 maybe. You see, you got the answer. Let's just test it out for subtraction. So as you can see, it also works. Now let's try with the exponential. So let's maybe say 5 to the power of 3. What we get. So the answer is 125. So it works. Now let's try the modulus operator. And let's just select two numbers, maybe 8 and then 5. See, the remainder is 3. So let's just run it again. Say 9, 8, there's 1. So it just divides the two numbers, 2 divided by 8. It takes the answer, which is 8, just ignores it, and then it takes the remainder, which is 1, and just put it on. That's what the modulus sign does. Now this is pretty much it for today's video. I hope you have learned how math works in Python. And if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. And I'll see you soon in the next video.